Hey everyone, so I'm going to go through a handful of super investors' 13F reports and talk about the buyers and the sellers. Seeing what the best money managers in the world are doing is a great way to learn and get ideas on investments that we might not have heard about before. So today we have PABRAI, Seth Clarkman, Charlie Munger, Lilu, David EINHORN, Daniel LOEB, Pat Dorsey, Warren Buffett, and Michael BURRY. Okay, so there is a lot to cover here. Tak, поехали! PABRAI is the big one here, that if you are a follower of his, well, you already know what's happened. Firstly, there's Racist, which is the Turkish logistics company that Hamish talks about a lot. Well, I don't actually know if he bought more shares or there was a stock split or something like that happened, because he still owns 30% of the company, and that is the same as last quarter. But the big story is obviously all of the selling. There's been a little selling of Edelweiss, Nice Holdings, and Shiniken, but big selling of Rain Industries, Indian Energy Exchange, and Alibaba. Now, I have no idea why he sold a lot down in these positions. I would only be speculating on what happened, but maybe Monish was freeing up some cash for another better investment that we haven't seen yet, or maybe there was a big redemption made by one of the clients. Well, that's what Investing with Tom suggested as a possibility. I have no idea. Hopefully some information comes to light on that soon, but Monish has taken a pretty decent loss on the Alibaba position, so there must be a good reason. It doesn't change my thoughts on Alibaba personally because I don't know why he did it, plus he still kept a piece of the business. If he really didn't want Alibaba, he would have sold it all. So we can sit here and speculate all day, but I'm still fine with Alibaba over the next 3 to 5 years, as I am confident it is going to be a good use of my cash. Now, as you can see, I'm growing a moustache. It's growing nicely, except I haven't worked out how to shape it yet. I didn't think about it before I started growing it, but I realize now there is some actual maintenance required. I'm not sure what shape I should be going for. There are so many different styles of mustaches, and I think I would look silly with any of them. So I'm trying to work out which one would look least like a 70s porn star, and also least like someone who shouldn't be allowed near a school. Anyway, a few other YouTubers and I are raising money for a cause called Movember. And if you do want to kick in some money, the link is in the description. And please send me a message so I can thank you here on the channel too. Okay, now moving on to Seth Clarkman at Brokerage Group. I think the news here is the continued selling of eBay. This was once his top stock, and now it's getting quite insignificant. Faith has been lost in eBay for whatever reason. There's two new interesting buys though, which is something to look into. First up is Dropbox, which is new for Seth Clarkman, but something I have had in my portfolio now for a year or two. So I'm fully aware of this investment. Good to see Seth recognize value here as well. I'll have a Dropbox update video at some stage soon. Secondly is a company called Garrett Motion out of Switzerland, which is an auto parts maker that I actually know nothing about. Maybe something to research here. Okay, the next topic is that last week I did my no checking the stock market prices for an entire week. Now, at first I thought it was a good challenge, but nothing too difficult. But I really surprised myself how I wanted to check the prices every day. So I'm fully aware of this weakness, and I'm going to have to work on ways to improve this. Now, you might be thinking, it's not a big deal. I should be able to check the prices every day. It's not a problem. Well, I think actually over a long period of time, it will make me take more actions than I should, and that could be devastating to my returns and therefore cost me hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. I don't think I'm taking this too far. I really do think it's a problem. So I did get through the week without checking, and even though there were earnings reports for some of my companies and a few interesting things happened, I definitely didn't need to know what the stock prices were each day. When I checked the stock prices on the weekend to see what happened over the week, it was honestly an underwhelming feeling. I know that Warren Buffett says that you should own a company that if the stock market closed for 5 years, you really shouldn't care. This challenge was a great reminder of that. So I guess the next challenge would be to try to push that out to 2 weeks or maybe even a month and see if that's even possible. Anyway, let's quickly do the rest of this list. So we'll go to Charlie Munger now at the Daily Journal Corporation. Charlie Munger at the Daily Journal did the opposite of PABRAI and increased the Alibaba stake by 80%. Surprising that these two friends did opposite things. Makes me speculate that Monish might have found something else to invest in. I can't imagine after such a short period of time and taking a loss that Monish would give up on the thesis. There is more to this than I would think. Next up is Lilu at Himalaya Capital. Now, Lilu, a close friend of Charlie Munger, well, he sold down about $400 million worth of his massive stake in BYD and bought Berkshire Hathaway. Berkshire Hathaway have been buying back so much stock lately that I guess Lilu sees some hidden value there. Investing with Tom made a video recently which highlighted this hidden value, and I agree with that assessment. Now let's turn to David Einhorn at Greenlight Capital. Deutsche Pfandbrief Bank is the one of interest here. $1 billion mortgage business in Germany. For those who are from Germany and understand the German banking sector, well, this is for you. It looks cheap, but this one is way outside my expertise. Also, if you are interested in international stocks like this one, well, you'll need a good broker like Interactive Brokers that can help you buy, sell, and hold stocks from many places throughout the world. Check out a demo account through the link in my description below, and you can play around with the platform. Interactive Brokers is the brokerage account that I use. Next up is Daniel Loeb at Third Point. Now, SentinelOne is the interesting purchase here from Daniel Loeb, an American AI cybersecurity software business that's growing really quickly. For those AI people out there looking for something that's growing fast, well, this one's for you to take a look at. Now we'll look at Pat Dorsey of Dorsey Asset Management. Now there's nothing new here, but he did double down on the investment in SEMrush. If you have ever built a website before, you will be familiar with SEMrush or SEMrush. Interesting business that I'm familiar with and an idea to take a look at some stage if I get some time. I relate to Pat Dorsey a lot because everything in his portfolio except Smartsheets I have used before and I'm very familiar with. I can't get on board with the valuations though, but I like most of these businesses. Now we'll do Warren Buffett of Berkshire Hathaway. And this one's pretty simple with effectively no major changes. They did buy some Japanese stocks, but they don't make up anywhere in the top 15 of his portfolio. Now last but not least is Michael Burry at Cyan Asset Management. Now the data is a bit old here, but we can see a new purchase into Lockheed Martin, the weapons and aerospace company. This one, on first glance, looks at an attractive price, but to say this is outside my area of knowledge is an understatement. I can't imagine doing a deep dive into this one, and it's funny how some managers I can relate to and others I can't. For example, Pat Dorsey, PABRAI, Lilu, and even Charlie Munger, I can look at their portfolios and can kind of see what they see. But Burry is truly outside the box, a true contrarian. I have no idea what he sees, but that's what I guess makes him brilliant. All right, so now to conclude, a mixed bag from the super investors that I like to follow. I might research Garrett Motion because of Seth Clarkman, SEMrush from Pat Dorsey, and the Japanese companies from Buffett. Otherwise, I think I have a pretty great list of companies on my watch list that I will just continue to research. Now let me know what you found interesting in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.